does. And I think one of the things that I love to do this work with is I love to use Vedic astrology, that lens. So when I talk about something that's in Vedic astrology and with psychic ability, this is a great combination because I might say something and James will go, okay, blah, 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 off we go to the races.
And I'll tune in.
And you'll tune in. And
I've already, it's funny, I already tuned in at the start of the show. Kelly and I were talking to each other. And I'm saying different things. She goes, oh my God, save that for the show. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Well, then we're getting a hit on it. She goes, don't forget that. So I wrote it down.
And you've been taking notes. I've
been taking notes and what I pick up. You bet.
I bet. So I think I'll just go ahead and start. What do you think, James?
Good.
Okay, so this is
in no time like the present.
We don't have any time.
Put your seatbelts on, everyone.
Put your seat. Seriously, strap in. This is setting up.
Write this stuff down.
Write this down. We're going to be talking about the year 2024. So this is
December the 11th, right?
Yeah, 2023.
2023.
So this is a dynamic year, everybody. I mean, a really large year, as they say in Texas. I want everybody to set their New Year's resolutions, okay? Because when you set your New Year's resolutions at the beginning of this year is extraordinary because it's Mercury and Jupiter are going direct. And that actually will make us feel like we can breathe again, okay? Now, it's still an intense year. 2024 is an intense year. But at least the beginning of the energy of this will be like, whoo, here we go. We'll gather up all this energy to take it inward and onward for 2024. So it's also 2024. Let's start. I'm going to give you some.
Let me go back to your New Year's resolution, Kelly.
Okay.
It's very important because I played that video today on my soul care and it was really, really important. And one of the things they talked about, which is really interesting, is when you make your intention, remember that you have to be in the present. You can't be in the past, the future. Right now is the time. And when you want to materialize things to happen in your life, you've got to send out a thought. You already have it happening in your life. Don't look for it. You already are that. So when you set your intentions, you already are that. You welcoming that aspect of yourself and keep it alive and keep as much emotion behind it. And that's how to have these 2024 resolutions.
That's great. Okay, super. And this is 2024 is an 8-year in numerology. Okay, so what does 8 represent? 8 represents infinity. Did you know, James, that 8 is the link between earth and heaven? Isn't that interesting?
That's the infinity sign.
Infinity sign. So 8 represents power. 8 also represents, in astrology, it represents Saturn. So Saturn means work. Saturn means karma. Saturn means...
Are you saying that?
Are you writing this down?
I'm writing other things.
Oh, good. It means transformation. So this is a year that is going to be transformative on many, many levels. Saturn rules government also, okay? And it rules karma and responsibility, hard work.
Before you go on, everybody, it's 8. When you said 8, the affinity signs, the word and mirrored a flash of mirrors came up. Mirrors. Right? So mirrored yourself. So become aware that you are important and see yourself in mirroring heaven, earth, as above, so below, right? So when you make your, this is also year 8 year I got for going over your patterns. What patterns do you tend to repeat? How are you going to split the patterns? What are you going to do to change those patterns in 2024? This time, resolution time, is a time to look at those patterns, come up with a plan. What do you want to do? How do you want to change it? What are those patterns? How are you going to break patterns? How are you going to set boundaries? How are you going to live that heavenly life on earth? The mirrors.
And how are you going to use that power? Because that power is available to everybody.
Strong power.
Strong power. Yeah, that's great, James.
And one thing in the video it said too, the more you pay attention to something, the more you give it life. The more you negate something, the more it gets nebulous, the more you lose attention. Your attention's not going there, the more it goes away. So only things that you want to bring attention to do you think of.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I love that. That's wonderful because again, 8 is also part of the 8th house, James, and the 8th house is what we call is what we call the house of transformation and the occult. Transformation and the occult. So
death and rebirth.
It also can bring people sudden money, like a windfall of money. It can, so it's this. There are some positive things about an 8. I mean, a lot of things, like for instance, energy to complete something, energy to get you through something. It's really
Energy to bring
there.
heaven to earth. I mean, that
Yes.
awareness, that double eight, that mirrors.
Yes. Yes. And
Bring
it's
your
so
higher self
important.
closer. Bring your higher self closer. Yep.
Yes. Yes. Boy, is that's a great one to do. This is also in Chinese New Year because I always like to look at that. This is the year of the wood dragon. Okay, the wood dragon. So in Chinese astrology, whenever there's whatever it is, there's always a different element, and this time it's wood. So the last time this happened was 1964. Let me just say what it means. The wood dragon means it's a fearless warrior. It's male energy and it's driven, and it can bring good luck and prosperity. So it's a big deal because this also goes with this 8, James. It just pushing us along, and so really, if you are thinking of having a business, this is, I would say, a really good year to start that, or something that you have wanted to do with your life. This is a great energetic year to do that. Okay.
I'm also going to throw something in here, Kelly. If you have the opportunity, everybody, to be with young people, why don't you make a sense or a moment with them to make it a moment that you enhance their Christmas or Hanukkah, their holidays, and bring that special sense of love and appreciation, and in a way teach them about love and respect and a happy holidays, a tradition. Because a lot of kids nowadays don't know what that means because it's a very different world we're living in. They don't understand human beings. They understand more devices. They're more programmed to that. They're not really programmed towards humans anymore, and they're really not. If we're fools to think they are, and I don't think we should start taking them back and give them a wonderful Christmas. Open them up to the heart, to empathy, and bring them Christmas cookies. Do something where you can bring young kids, maybe in your neighborhood, and bring them cookies and tell them Christmas stories and things like that, and spread love.
I think that's a great idea because so many parents right now are just in a different world.
Well, we're reaching Kelly, talking to my eye doctor today, who's an interesting person to talk to about this. He has 3 kids. He said the problem is those parents are also from a generation of devices. So they don't know any better either. They don't know really the outside world. So what can they give their kids? They just don't know how to parent them correctly. So they give them things, bikes and money and this and that, and just spoil them because they don't know what to do with them.
So true. It's true. Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk about some of the signature items, I'm calling this, for 2024, because there are some big ticket items in 2024 that James and I are going to be making some predictions about. So I'm going to start with January is going to be kind of a roller coaster year of all kinds of things. But when we get to February is where there's the Pluto return in the United States in Vedic astrology. In Western astrology, it already started. But
I think Biden gets sick in January. I feel he might get sick, might be ill. There's illness around. Sorry to bring that cloud in there, but I just said cloud of illness there. I don't know if he's going to live or not. I don't know. Just say it could be ill.
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that because the Pluto return, it hits 3 times this year, James. It starts in February, then it hits in July and December. So what it is this is in Capricorn, and Capricorn represents government, right? So it's kind of what you're saying here, because it has to do with changes, political changes, economic changes, and social systems. Because the last time that there was Pluto was in 1776 when the United States was formed. So this is a huge thing. It will be the decline of the old ways.
Yes, I wrote down that too, and I said right now new programs will be initiated come springtime to help the poor and money. And there's going to be a big debate, I don't know, riots, whatever, about releasing funds for international causes like other countries and not keep them here at home. That's going to be a big one in January, February, March. It'll be a really big one. Okay,
wow.
Just so you know that. There'll be a change of Supreme Court justices too.
Wow. Well, let me go into February just a little bit, James, because this hits on what you're saying right now. Around February 8th, 9th, 10th, around that period of time, we have a stellium of planets in Capricorn. A stellium means several. We have Sun, we have Moon, we have Mercury, we have Mars, and we have Pluto all together during that period of time that you're talking about. Okay. February brings huge changes. So I really want to, acknowledge what you're saying with that. And I'm going to say this: there could be an attack on U.S. soil.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. That's
Because
exactly what I was saying.
that is it's really what you're saying.
Well, yeah, we get more into that a little bit later, but I have, yeah, I get new court judge. I have new laws are getting initiated. There are going to be some states that just want to get away from us, and there's going to be eventually, and even with the political situation, a new political system or a new party. And I'm calling it the Great Divide of the country, because the country's going to be divided, and I think there's going to be war between us in the country. I call it the Great Divide.
You didn't even read my notes yet.
No.
I don't mean to laugh about
And
that.
I also think that I fought for years with Norman Lear, God rest his soul, fighting people for the American way, bringing Christians out of politics, because there's no place religion and politics don't match. And I cannot believe no one's ever stopped them, because it's all money, and they don't stop religious ministers and evangelicals to get into politics. There's no place for it. So it's really interesting, because I think that pendulum is going to switch back the other way. And you've already seen it with abortion in Texas, that girl. Yeah. You can't. You're more interested in saving a baby fetus life, but not the human life. What does that make sense? Hello.
It makes no sense. That made no sense. But what you're talking about with that political divide actually comes when we get to this eclipse. And so let me just touch on that. So first we have this Pluto return. Now, when we get to April, and at the end of March, really, James, like towards the end of March and into April, we have this solar eclipse, and it's a full solar eclipse. Now, the last time we had a full solar eclipse was August 21st, 2017. And let me just remind you, James, of how my life changed and how your life changed. Eclipses bring change. And I had several deaths in my family, and we moved to Texas. We moved here to the farm, so it was a big change for me. And I know you went through a divorce.
Big divorce, big changes, big changes.
Mine too. Yeah, I mean, it was a big one, right? So this eclipse that goes across the United States, this is a big one, because again, eclipses bring great change. And when they go across the United States, and we are in the United States, and the United States has a lot of power all over the world. This is a big deal. So they call this one the Great North American Eclipse, and it goes through Texas, Oklahoma. Remember that. Put a pin in that. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And I agree with you, James. I believe that this will divide the country, particularly through where Texas is. And I think it will also affect a lot of the illegal aliens in that area, or the people that are coming into the country. I think that eclipse is going to be intense, because it's not just this eclipse, but 2 days later, we have a Mars-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. Now, that is enormous, because Mars is stepping on the gas at full speed, and Saturn is stepping on the brake at full speed. This could, right after an eclipse, I think that April, we're going to see things that you just can't imagine. I do.
Well, I think that happened. I guess I kept on seeing the word. I saw guns everywhere, guns, and there's going to be a great divide. And I think that there are going to be certain states that annexation happens, and I think there's going to be called the Great Divide. And I think they're going to start governing themselves in courts and so forth, and take about their own laws. I think that's what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I think they're going to be involved in international war as well, but it's going to, like you said, here in this land.
Yeah.
They're going to hit areas like New York, LA, San Francisco, Chicago.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think more and more shooters out there, and because everybody's so woke, they're asleep.
Yeah.
Everybody wants us to be so right, but they're wrong. It's just like, stop, enough.
Get
back to basic love and humanity. But yes, it doesn't seem well. I also, Kelly, get a feeling there's going to be another kind of disease that comes out.
Really? Tell me about that.
I don't know. I just got it. I was talking to you here.
Okay.
Some kind of another, a little more serious, with the nose and the sinuses and the lungs. Some other virus or something. Just like I personally believe that this was created in a lab. I think we're going to find some other things that'll be exposed. I do think we're going to find that only this COVID was Chinese people around, but I think our government might have been behind it. I think a lot of governments are behind, but quiet. I think that's going to be exposed. A lot of it's going to be exposed. And I think, things are going to be open up. I think people are going to become very used to the way things work, and they're going to be opened up to way things truly work and see it for the first time, and be amazed how our government evolves with a lot of different things. And I think it's going to be, and AI is going to get worse. I think there'll be a lot more scams done, a lot more money be robbed from people. That's what I see.
Well, so let me tell you how much I agree with that. So the biggest event of the year, even though we have said all these things, but the biggest event of the year astrologically is the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction, because Uranus is a planet of surprise and shock, and Jupiter is huge. And so during this period, this is on April 20th, again in April. So some amazing things can happen during this period. It's not all doom and gloom with it, but it is very intense because it starts, the last time something like this happened at this degree was the beginning of World War II. So I have to say
I would
that
say there's World War III without a doubt. My sister passed over in April and mentioned that there's going to be World War III coming.
Yeah,
because you got to get out of there. The world's going to full of fire.
Oh my gosh. And well, as we get further down towards the year, I would agree with that statement. Absolutely. But
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I say the good possibility Trump will get back into the White House too.
Yeah, there's a strong well, and I want to save that to the end, but yes.
I don't think it'll last, but there you go. Whatever way, I'm not saying how, when, or why, but I think it's a good possibility.
Yep, I put a pin in that one too. On the positive side, with this Uranus and Jupiter conjunction, it brings all kinds of discoveries out.
New technologies, yeah.
New technologies, because Uranus rules electricity and energy and inventions and lightning. So also, though, I have to go back to something that our nodes changed. That Rahu and Ketu changed. The nodes changed last month, and they'll stay there for another year and a half. But during this period of time, the last time the nodes were in Pisces and Virgo was 2005 and 2006. So here's what I'm going to say, everybody. I believe that we're going to have huge hurricanes, because this has happened with Katrina and Rita and Wilma. And also 2006 was one of the worst years for tornadoes, and it was an 8-year. So tornadoes, we just had a tornado yesterday.
Big one.
A big one, yeah. So also, all of this is what you were just saying. This Uranus and Jupiter will push AI, James. It will go fast, because the last time something like this happened in 2005 and 2006, we had YouTube, the beginning of YouTube, and the beginning of Twitter. And so now we're going to go fast with AI. And I think that is going to have huge repercussions. I do.
Yeah, they don't think about it. They just go forward with, like Jurassic Park. They just go ahead. Never knew it'd be so big. Why do we need it? I think it's going to be, like I said, technical discovery. I think travel will be a lot of technical discoveries, inventions of travel. I think air travel is going to be a little bit different. I don't know why I keep on sensing smaller companies taking care of them, smaller ways of changing things, of doing things. People aren't happy. I think there's going to be a different set of laws, rules for people that fly. I think they're going to initiate that. I see a lot around travel. They'll be restrictive to a point, but they can't anymore, because people are going to rebel. So they're going to do things in a nicer way, a smaller way, a different way. That's what I say. I think it's April to May.
You think so? Okay, that's very, very interesting. Yeah. Wow.
AI has a big part in all of this, like you said.
It will.
They got to initiate the eye, look at the eyes, iris. Yeah. I think they'll initiate those programs as well. Wow. Because that's going to do also, I think, the same program we use in Border Patrol.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. Okay. Also, I think that there's going to be major earthquakes, and I'm going to specifically say in California. Well, across the world, but specifically in California.
What year? What time of the year?
I'm talking about June, July, and August, particularly August. It's more heavy, concentrated on August.
Okay.
Particularly around August 20th, because that's the day that Taurus is heavily activated, and Taurus is an earth sign, as you know. And that particular day could be a big earthquake. So that would be, and this also June and July also. Those are 3 months of heavily aspected Taurus activity.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen before August. It's going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I always see spring. My measurement of things, an intuitive level, is I see spring like daffodils, and I think it's in springtime onto the summer. And I
Okay.
feel some inflation don't expect, even like Alaska or Canada. There's going to be some really interesting things happening there because the poles are melting so quickly. It's changing the whole face of the earth,
Yeah.
and things are going to be differently shaped, and you're going to see it. And I hate to say that, but a lot of water. I see a lot of water.
Well, K2 in Pisces brings a lot of water, James. And so there'll probably be a lot of storms. Like somebody had asked me about the weather this year for 2024. I think it's going to be wild weather, a lot of storms coming.
You feel a fever on me, Mandy, or too late? I already have one. I already have COVID symptoms, so I have a fever. Yes, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing
But
the best.
I agree, James, there's going to be a huge transition politically. This is going to be a
Oh, are we
really
getting to that
crazy
now?
time. Well, we can get into that, but
I'm
first,
eating
before I
chocolate.
even go, what?
I'm eating chocolate because I feel so
You can
bad.
eat chocolate. I think you should eat chocolate.
I
Why
feel so
not?
bad eating chocolate.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. But we also have another eclipse, that solar eclipse that goes through the United States as well, at parts of the United States, and that's on October 2nd. So, and as you see, we're headed to the election in November, right? And I feel that this second eclipse is very intense because it conjuncts Saturn's USA chart, and this could bring a sudden shift in things. And that solar eclipse can bring losses. It can bring huge changes to the elections in the United States. And I think that that's where we're going to see huge divides in with people. I think it starts in April, and then you're going to see people on all sides of this. And with that eight energy, that powerful energy, I think we're going to see major divides as we get to the election. I think you remember how it was in 2015 and 2016. Right at that period of time, and it was so intense. And I remember very well. And that's really what I feel is coming up towards that
Yeah,
type of
I
energy
think that
again, but
term.
even more so.
Yeah, I think that term, the Great Divide, is going to become a regular term that's used because I think the country's going to be completely divided, and I think they're going to go after each other, like a civil war type thing.
Now, I also think that Trump's going to get in trouble when we get to March. I think his chart looked really bad for
If
March.
he gets in,
So I think it's going to be between Trump. I had a dream
and there's
that a few nights ago that it was somebody new. And I said, what does that mean? What happened to Biden? I don't think Biden makes it at all. And I think that it could be between Gavin Newsom out of the blue, because it was somebody that I came out of the blue in my dream, and Trump. And I will tell you that it could be Trump.
yeah, but if he does get in, Kelly, which I feel he might, I don't feel he's going to stay there for a while. I feel he's going to get ousted out of there in some way. I don't know if someone goes after him. He just for legally gets out. That's something he doesn't last in there.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is a really weird thing, and it'll be a first because everything is being first these past 2
Right.
years.
Right. What do you think with government, James, that's going to happen to like the school systems?
We're gonna have to reform. There's gonna be some reforms have to be made. I think.
Yeah.
I really do. I think they're going to be a point where people just do not want money being spent outside the country.
Interesting.
I wish they would also reform the salaries of Congress and senators and take with a special interest group. If they take with a special interest group, we'd maybe have a fair chance. But unfortunately, they become so greedy, and it promotes greed among these politicians. That's really what it does.
Yeah.
It promotes greed. Yeah. So we have to see where it's coming from. Follow the money, and you'll see it.
That's what they say. Follow the money.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I do think there'll be Supreme Court changes as well, and maybe one person, two. There's definitely some knockups roundabouts in that Supreme Court. I don't know what that means. I just know there's going to be 2 new faces.
Wow. Okay.
It's a big deal in history.
It's a big deal in history, and I also think that we are headed into a big war, especially towards when we get a little further down the road here. Maybe around election time. It could be before then. But I feel that we get in, and it could involve Iran and definitely Israel. And I don't see Israel. I see Israel getting, bigger and bigger. The conflict getting bigger and bigger.
Well, all the terrorists will come together and form one big terrorist connection. So
Yeah.
that's what that's like.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be recognized. They're going to have to be recognized. They're going to try to form their own thing, but it's got to be really amazing.
I mean, I feel that it's a kind of year that all the stuff has to come to some massive change here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, we get one thing this year does do is it brings people that you would never imagine into some form of spirituality that you would never imagine.
Well, what I think, Kelly, is talk about this. What we just talked about the mirrors and changing patterns.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking it's a possibility that will change a whole new way of perception of the Palestinians and the Israelis. Might be some way we can change that way of being.
Maybe.
Even if it's been hundreds of thousands of years, there might be some way to honor that. Maybe that's why these things are breaking out to left and right.
Yeah, I mean, the old systems are changing.
No matter what side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are we to say what's right or wrong? God, it just feels so archaic.
Right. I know.
And there's so much time in the oneness of it, everything, and we all know everything. But boy, it's hard. This human world is really a hard place to have these experiences because people come from a different reason. That's greed, and that's not the human, not the love part.
Well, they come here and it's duality, and they forget that they're really, souls, deep souls, trying to have an experience. Yeah. So it makes it a little tough. Yeah. And this is not an easy year. So put your seatbelts on, everybody.
And a lot more people that would be, I call them automatrons. A lot more of those automatrons coming into fray because they're growing up now. I had a lovely 19-year-old girl this morning at my eye doctor's, and I don't know if she said showed two different emotions. I'd be blown away, but she was very monochromatic the whole time. I said, "What dear?" She goes, "Chelsea." I said, "Oh, Chelsea, like Chelsea Handler. You know who that is?" She goes, "No." I said, "Of course not." But everything was monotone. And then I'm speaking to her in a nice way, and I'm realizing she doesn't understand what I'm saying because it's a foreign language. It's a foreign language. My reflections, my inflections, my ways, my jokes. I've been around many audiences around the world, and they get it. No matter good jokes, bad jokes, but they get there's a connection. No connection.
Oh my gosh. Okay, James, we have a good question. This is from Trisha Ford. She says, children are similar energy to animals, right? She says, what are your thoughts on animals and animal-related issues in 2024?
I don't see children and animals together the same at all. I really don't. I wish I could, but I don't know.
I don't either.
I think I have a lot more sense of empathy than children do.
Could be. What do you think about animal-related issues, though, for 2024? Do you think there'll be?
Oh, I think, I personally think it's a little bit more with, I don't know. I feel like toxins are going to be a big deal for them. Food toxins in their food. They find some food toxins, recalls. I don't feel anything else, but, I don't feel like respiratory stuff like it's going on now. I don't get that, but I do get that the chemicals of the land, there'll be an interesting insight into that this coming year. About the connection between toxicity and dog food or cat food.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is processing plants too.
Yes.
So I think they're going to find a lot of processing, not only animal foods, but processing plants are going to come under the light. They really are. People are going to find out what's going on there. There's so much hidden stuff behind these businesses that nobody knows about. No, everyday American knows about. And I think that's going to be uncovered. A lot of it's going to be uncovered. As you mentioned before, maybe last year, those stuff that was deep and hidden is going to come to the light. I think now's the time.
Oh, yeah, I think so. So take care, everybody. And join me Thursday on Ask Me Anything. I'll be covering more astrology.
I might come and say, hi, Kelly. Can I ask you?
Please do. Yes, you can. Okay. I pick you.
Thank you. I have a book I need the name of. Can you help me?
Yes, I'll find a book. I'll find a name for you. You find one for me. Oh, my gosh. But take care, everybody. Good night.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.
The James and Kellee Show.